Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I'm Dr. ICOBIRD2020. Today, I would like to present my research topic, anxiety disorder during movement control order (MCO) in Malaysia. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, first we go to the introduction. Anxiety is a normal emotion that everyone feels when they are about to do a thing, and it is a feeling that somehow comes and goes but do not interfere with a person's everyday life. Anxiety disorder is a group of mental illnesses that may distress the person and may cause them from carrying on with their life normally. Therefore, in the case of an anxiety disorder, the feeling of fear could be with the victim most of the time, and it may be acute and sometimes extremate. Okay. Furthermore, on 16 March 2020, Malaysia has declared the Movement Control Order (MCO) effective starting 18 March to 31st March nationwide to curb the spread of COVID-19. The declaration was announced by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin as it was the first time in history that Malaysia has enforced such an order. Okay, next we go to the problem statement. The COVID-19 case became serious in Malaysia as day by day. The number of people infected with this virus is also increasing. The government must find an alternative to reduce the number of people infected. This led to the declaration of Movement Control Order, or also known as MCO, which means the prohibition of movement and mass assembly nationwide, including all religious, sports, social, and cultural activities. To enforce this prohibition, all places of worship and business premises must be closed except for supermarkets, public markets, grocery stores, and stores selling necessities. Due to the nationwide crisis of the coronavirus outbreak, people all over the country, including Malaysia, have been ordered to sit at home or wherever they are during the MCO, which may cause many people to suffer from anxiety disorder as a result of being confined or had to make a social distance and self-isolate and unable to socialize outside as they usually do. Being confined can be crucial in stopping the COVID-19, but it can affect people psychologically. For people who have been diagnosed with anxiety disorder, movement control order causes them to be more vulnerable to the disease due to lack of activity or attention and being confined at home. So actually here, the researchers try to relate anxiety disorder and MCO during COVID-19 crisis. Okay, based from the issue that we have stated in our problem statement, the researchers have identified two research questions. The first research question is, what factors that would lead a person to have anxiousness during MCO? And research question 2, what did you do to cope feeling anxious or under control, and how? So these are the questions for our research. Okay, for next slide, we go to our research methodology. For our research design, we are using qualitative in-depth interview research. In terms of data collection strategy, we use semi-structured interviews, which we have prepared the questions, and then anxiety disorder patient will be setting up to an interview session with the researchers. And then in terms of sampling, we are using non-probability purposive sampling, which is also known as judgmental sampling, which we have chosen our informants for those who have anxiety disorder, or we call it anxiety disorder patients. And finally, in terms of our data analysis, we are using thematic analysis, which is a conceptual research type, is used to evaluate classifications and current patterns that apply to the results. Okay, so next we go to the findings. Research question 1, what factors that will lead a person to have anxiousness during MCO? So basically we have interviewed 8 informants. So these are the themes that we have created. The first one is environmental factors, which some of them fears of leaving house, socializing with people, And another reason because of family are less concerned about the COVID-19 outbreak. And then the second one because of genetic factor, which they are too sensitive on small cough, and then they're also afraid when media reported about death cases. For research question 2, what did you do to cope feeling anxious or under control and how? So how they cope, how they overcome. So what the informants, okay, the anxiety person did, they are practicing breathing technique. Some of them practicing breathing technique. And then the second one, some of them, they are playing games or do other activities to make them busy. And then most of the informant also, they mention about they talk to their friends or their family members. So that are the way on how they cope during the MCO. Okay, finally we go to our conclusions. To conclude, those with social anxiety disorder or sometimes recognized as social phobia may experience a common extreme fear of uncertainty. In the case of anxiety disorder, the feeling of fear may be with the victim most of the time and may be acute and sometimes attenuated. Due to implementation of MCO, movement control order, may induce numerous people to suffer from anxiety disorder as a consequence of being restricted or requiring to make a social distancing, self-isolated and unable to socialize outside as they normally do. In that case, for anxiety disorder patients to cope with anxiety and feeling under control, they need high level of possibility for them to achieve high level of recovery. Furthermore, they expect and need a level of understanding from their surroundings, people to calm themselves down when they are attacked by the mental health issue. Okay, so I hope you enjoy my presentation, but I would like to share with you, actually this research was supported by International Kerja Research Matching Grant, ITN Chongam Melaka 2020, with collaboration Kementerian International Business Grant from Business University, Jakarta, Indonesia. So these are our team members from UITM Chongam Melaka and also from Business University. Okay, so I think that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed with my presentation. Thank you so much for your time, for listening my research. And you can contact me at this number, and I also have provided with my email address. So we can proceed with Q&A. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day.